So when considering the sort of conventions of a documentary film, the first thing that comes to mind are the interviews. And of course, in my film, I definitely conform to this. The interviews were a central focus point to the film, an essential point to documentaries in general. By creating such a big focus on them and letting the audio of other shots play over the top of them really brings a bigger focus into what the people in the interview are talking about. It creates it just makes it more in depth. It can answer questions directly rather than just be subliminally. It's a clear convention, and I definitely met this aspect. Another thing that I've conformed to in my documentary is the idea of a narration. The narrator is me, and it's played during the very start and some point near the middle of the film. This is such an integral part of documentary in order to pose the various questions and to start the kind of driving force behind it, behind the whole documentary, bring forth the ideas, the questions I want to answer, as well as linking up the various parts of the interviews. Another thing that I've conformed to is the exposition of the documentary. It happens right at the start of the film, and it's used in order to introduce the themes and motifs that are going to be looked at. The exposition is used to create a first impression for the audience, and I think I successfully did that with a few shots of the Masai Mara with all the animals, as well as the tribes out there, but also the shots of the kids playing at the orphanage. It directs a clear sense of the kinds of themes I wanted to take the film in. The idea that it's a light-hearted film, while it will still have quite an important message behind it. Something, however, that I challenged in the conventions of short films is the idea of a circular narrative. While it could be argued that a documentary fundamentally doesn't need a circular narrative to be successful, short film in general usually contains a circular narrative to link the beginning, the middle and the end, to create a sense of fullness for the film. Because of how short the film is, certain points need to be brought across quicker, and the storyline has to be brought in full circle in order to make the story seem believable, more realistic, and the film to be successful. The reason why this isn't exactly key for documentary is that it's factual and that there isn't a story behind it. A clear development that I had in my short film is during the last section of the film, where we have the interviews of both Ian and Anna being played over the top
just
of the
how
audio track
much we do have
to another clip which is shown just before the interviews of the children singing a song on
those
their
who
assemblies.
much is given,
And that kind
be
of
required. I think
helps
that's
wrap up
really true of us
the
here.
film.
Anyone that went out there, they would definitely be able to tell the difference between English people and Kenyan people, and it's not just the culture,
Makes it
it's
seem more
definitely to do with
interesting,
their faith.
and more engaging for the audience as they get
It's
these kind
an
of
unbelievable
two
amount how much
conflicting topics.
they
We've
pray and
got
how